Hi guys, and welcome to another fluid vinyasa class with me, Rosie. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and I hope this is a class that you'll really enjoy and one that you can come back to. We're going to get started today actually up in a seated position. And we're going to start off in a straddle. So option to come on to a meditation cushion or a cushion to sit on, or maybe one of the flatter blocks if you feel like it. Help to give you some lift, and just taking the legs out wider. Now sometimes this can feel quite intense for the start of practice, so option to take those legs a little bit narrower, a little bit wider depending on how the hips, how the groin's feeling, and then just settle down. So see if you can find that seat, closing through the eyes and taking hands onto the knees, and just taking a second to come back to that breath. So letting go of any active effort through the body. So maybe you take a wiggle through the feet, through the fingertips, shoulders. Take any last movement that you need, and then see if you can just settle into this stillness. So start to draw that attention, that awareness to the breath. So you might notice the chest rising and falling. Maybe the belly as well. And we're going to be working today with this idea of fluidity. So fluid flow. And making our movements last the length of the breath. So we want to take these moments at the start of class to just become a little bit more in tune with how the breath is today. Maybe it's a long, deep breath that's reaching down into the belly. Maybe it's a little bit shorter, a little bit faster, just reaching the chest. So wherever it is, just welcoming it in. We come to practice and we welcome the body, we welcome the breath exactly as they are. And then we want to check in with this idea of movement. So with the eyes closed, we're going to allow ourselves to drop into sensation. So we're moving away from how this looks and dropping into how it feels. So option to stay here with the stillness. Or maybe start to welcome in just some gentle rolls of the head, of the neck. This movement can be really small, it doesn't have to be big. It's whatever works for you. And then maybe as you sit here, head, neck moving, this movement starts to grow. It starts to get a little bit bigger, a little bit more intuitive. So you start to move shoulders, body, torso, keeping the eyes closed if you can. So you're taking circles here, just moving, any movement that feels nourishing. And the hands maybe travel down onto the tops of the feet, onto the ankles or the calves, maybe taking a squeeze of the feet, squeeze of the thighs, checking in with how the body is feeling as well. So allowing yourselves to drop into this movement, settling down, grounding down, and already here finding that fluidity. And then we either stay with that movement or we start to move ourselves into a forward fold. So just taking those hands in front onto the mat again, eyes can stay closed, and walking them forwards. And making this a floppy one, so feet don't have to be engaged. We just allow ourselves to round through the back, drop the head down, become heavy. And as we arrive in this forward fold, we either find that stillness or that movement. So invitation here to undulate. So as you inhale, maybe you pick the body up, coming on to the fingertips. As you exhale, you soften, release down. So taking a few of these if they feel good, allowing that breath as you inhale to draw you up, exhale, soften. So we're softening through that body, taking one more. Exhale, release, and as you release, still feeling the breath. So even as you find that stillness, the body is still working, that prana, that energy is still moving in and out through that chest. Notice it here. Just taking one more breath. Inhaling. Exhale slowly, starting to peel up. And as you peel up, you might start now to flutter open those eyes, walking hands back in towards you, lifting up. We're going to come into a side stretch. So as you arrive, maybe taking a circle with the head, with the neck. And then just taking that left hand down behind the left leg. We're going to flex through that left leg, flex through the right. So starting to switch on. As we inhale, right arm comes up and over. We find this stretch and we're coming over the left leg. So it might be that you're coming down onto the forearm, or maybe you're on the fingertips on the hand. Whatever works for you. Taking that chest, that gaze up towards the sky. Option to take that right hand maybe down and find the right foot. If you find that grasp, still peeling up, lifting up through that chest. Taking an inhale here. Exhale, release. Lifting up and then just finding that other side. So right hand coming down behind the right leg, left arm reaches up and over. Gaze or drishti up towards the sky. Staying with that breath. So notice as you arrive in these stiller poses if the breath catches or stops. So just checking in. One more inhale here. Exhale, release, peeling up. And then just taking that right foot in towards that left thigh. We're going to take the right hand behind us onto the floor, pushing down. And as we inhale, we're going to lift through the hips. So hips come up, left arm reaches up. We come onto the sole of that left foot. We reach up towards the sky, extending through those fingertips. And then as we pause here, maybe that left hand comes back and it catches the back of the head. So we allow the head to rest on the hand. We see if we can find that rotation up towards the sky. So it's a small movement. One more breath here, inhaling, lifting up. Exhale, round, release everything back down, maybe keeping hand to the head as you roll back. And then we take that right leg out long, come to find that other side. Sole of the left foot in towards that right thigh. Left hand behind us. As we inhale, right arm peels up this time onto the sole of the right foot. We lift, finding that space for the chest, for the hearts. And that right hand cradles the back of the head, and we just rotate chest up towards the sky. Very small movement here. Inhale, one more breath. Exhale, we round as the hips start to drop, keeping hand to head. We're almost rounding, curling back in on ourselves as we move back to find our seats. And we take those hands round to the front of the mats. Shoulders above wrists, hips above knees, and we land in our tabletop. And we just start off by taking some cat-cow. So as we inhale, we drop the belly, lift up through that chest. As we exhale, we round through that back, allow head to hang down heavy. Let's take a few more of these. Working with your own breath, so I'm not going to call that inhale, that exhale. You might be slower, you might be faster than me. Link it in with the length of your breath. So it's your practice. So take a few more of these. Any movement that intuitively might feel good. So you might ask yourself, what would feel nourishing here in my tabletop? Maybe it's starting to move in circles, moving around the mats. Maybe it's padding fingers out towards the sides. So whatever it may be, a few breaths here to take whatever you need, knowing that there's no rights, there's no wrongs. And then slowly arriving, toes tucked under, in our downward facing dog. So just arriving here, feet grounding down. Taking a pause, checking in. So this might be a really stretchy downward facing dog. You're pedaling out through the feet, through the hands, through the arms. It's the first one of the practice, maybe first one of the day. So taking what you need. As and when you're ready, we're going to inhale, sweep that right leg up towards the sky. So we find a three-legged dog. And we're going to take a bend through that right knee, rotate it out to the side, so finding an open hip. It's a nice open hip variation. Inhale, breathing in here. As we exhale, the right foot is going to step in between the two front hands. We ground the back foot down, and as we inhale, those arms are going to fly up. We find our warrior one. So hips are facing forwards. We find space for the upper body. Maybe that right foot even steps out slightly, so you have that space. We're grounding down through the feet, rooting down, lifting up through fingertips. So as we inhale, find that lift. As we exhale, right arm goes forward, left arm goes back. We open hips to the side, find our warrior two. Sinking down here. And we're going to fly that warrior. So as we inhale, we draw up, straighten through that leg. As we exhale, we release down. So taking just 3 of these. Inhale, drawing up. Exhale, releasing, finding that bend. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, release. As we release down, we push down through that right foot, straighten through that right leg. Right hand starts to reach forwards on the inhale. On the exhale, we take the right hand down to the floor. We find Utthita Trikonasana. So that hand might find the floor, or it might find the ankle, the shin, or maybe a block, maybe fingertips. So if that hand is down, just see the difference it makes if we lift up. So we find that space through the chest, noticing that long line working its way through left fingertips all the way down the arm. So breathing in here, we start to reach that left arm forwards. We're creating a circle, almost drawing it, and we allow that circle to pivot us round as we find our prasarita. So long edges of the feet parallel to short edges of the mats. And as we arrive here, we undulate. We inhale to lift up through that chest. Exhale to release down. So take a few of these. Same motion we did in that forward fold before. Lifting up to find that space, exhaling to soften. Take one more of these. And then exhale, release, just find some stillness. So softening through the knees here, taking a micro bend. Wrists either walked in line with the heels of the feet, or maybe you even walk fingertips forwards. Allow the head to hang heavy. So your choice. And wherever you are in this stillness, still feeling that breath. So breath is still moving in and out of the body. One more breath in here. Exhale, release. And we work back towards the front of that mat. So hands come back to the center line, wherever they were when we started. Right foot turns towards the front. We step the hands forward, so the hands are to the inside of the right foot, and we arrive in this lizard. So we've got a nice open hip here, and we want to ease ourselves in. So take the body from side to side. Check in with that movement. And then pushing down through that left hand as we arrive, we peel right arm up towards the sky, and we find our easy twist, extending through those fingertips. Option to have stillness here, or to take that right arm forwards, find a circle. And as you start to exhale, drawing it back up to the top. So taking 2 more of these circles if they feel good. This is where we really find that fluidity, so the whole movement lasting the length of the breath. Taking 1 more when you're ready. Inhale, peeling back up. When we find that last one, right hand coming back down to join the left. Taking that right foot back towards our high plank. And from our high plank, option to come straight to that downward facing dog, or take a vinyasa, so knees and chest, or your chaturanga. Inhaling, drawing up through the chest. Upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale, tuck under toes, draw back. Downward facing dog. So if you came straight to the down dog, maybe you took a pause in that stillness, maybe you found that movement. We're going to come to find that other side. So the right foot grounding down as we inhale, left leg sweeps up towards the sky. And we bend through that left knee, rotate it out to the side, find that open hip variation. Shoulders staying where they are, so we're not moving the shoulders. Breathing in here. As we exhale, left foot steps forward in between the hands. We ground the back foot on the exhale. On the inhale, we lift up, finding our warrior one. Reaching up through those fingertips, hips forward, space for the upper body. Inhale, find that lift. Exhale, we open out, left arm forwards, right arm back, warrior two. Hips opening out to the side, and we fly that warrior. So as we inhale, hands come together, straighten through that front leg. Exhale, release it down. Two more here. Inhale, flying up. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, fly up. Exhale, release. As we arrive here, warrior two, we push down through that left foot, straighten the left leg. Left arm reaches forwards on the inhale. On the exhale, it comes down. Right arm up towards the sky. Gaze drishti up there too, Uttita Trikonasana. Noticing that long line through the right hand, down through the arm. Remembering to pick up onto those fingertips or come onto a block or the leg to find that opening through the chest. We allow this right arm to reach forwards, finding a circle, and that circle pivots us into our prasarita. We come round again. So taking those undulations, coming straight into them. Inhale, straight back, peeling up onto fingertips. Exhale, release down. Keeping soft knees, taking two more of these. Inhale to draw up. Exhale, release. Taking one last one. Whatever the length of your breath is, and then coming to find that stillness. Wrists walking in line with the heels, or fingertips reaching forwards. We allow head to hang down heavy. Your choice. Taking a few breaths in, noticing that movement through the body, even in the stillness. That breath facilitating that movement through the chest. One more inhale here, breathing in. Exhale, hands walking back into center from wherever they are. We take that left foot to face the front of the mat. We pivot round, both hands to the inside of the left leg. We've got that bend through the left knee, finding our lizard. And again, maybe you've got sways from side to side, so we allow ourselves to ease in. Taking our time to arrive, and then when we do, left arm starts to peel up. We find that easy twist, extending through the fingertips. Breathing in here, an option to stay with the stillness or to find those circles. As we inhale, arm comes forwards, exhale, draw it back up. Two more of these if you're taking them. Taking that last one wherever you may be. Left hand coming back down to join right. Stepping that left foot back, coming straight to a downward facing dog or a child's pose, or taking your vinyasa, your choice. Inhaling now. Exhale, tuck under those toes, draw it back. Downward facing dog, and from that down dog, everyone just taking a child's pose. So taking a wide leg, untucking toes, dropping down, forehead to the mats. Making this a restorative one. So if you've got those fingertips really stretched out, reached out long, just releasing them slightly. Maybe drawing hands back towards the head, elbows out to the side, finding space for the chest, shoulders for the upper body. Take a few breaths in. Notice how the hip space is feeling, how the groin is feeling. Check in with that breath. Does it feel different from the start of practice? Maybe it feels the same. So, as always, welcoming it in exactly where it stands. Taking one more breath here in through the nose. Exhale, release out through the mouth. And as we inhale, we're going to peel the body up, peel head up, almost like a wave. And we roll forwards, coming down onto the belly. And we lift up, we're going to arrive in our Sphinx. So hands down to the mat, shoulders above elbows. Option to close through the eyes, pause in our Sphinx, or take some undulations. So taking the hands a little bit further forwards and out to the sides a little bit more, staying up on those fingertips. And as we inhale, elbows go up towards the sky. As we inhale, we lift through that belly. And as the belly lifts, arms start to straighten. And we lift through the chest, lift through the head. Gaze maybe even going up to the sky. As we exhale, we roll everything back down. So just taking 2 more of these. Really making that breath last the entire movement. Or always that option to stay in that Sphinx. Remembering as well that we don't have to fully straighten the arms as we come into Cobra. It might just be a little bit of straightening. And we exhale, roll back down. When we arrive back down, if we were in that Cobra, coming back to that Sphinx position. So elbows underneath shoulders, and then just bending that right knee in. So right foot coming towards the right glute. An option to take that right hand back if you wish. Finding that connection and just tug gently towards you. Remembering to still keep that lift through the chest, through the heart space here. So gaze is still forwards, everything is switched on. If you can't find that grip, hand to foot, always okay to keep that active variation, both hands in front and just keeping glutes and legs switched on. So one more breath here, breathing in. Exhale, release that right leg down. And then coming to find the other side. So left knee bends in, left foot in towards the glutes. Active variation here, or taking that left hand behind you, grasping hold and finding a gentle tug in. Staying with that breath, staying with that lift through the chest, so we're pushing down through that right arm, lifting up. One more inhale here. Exhale, softly release. We don't want that foot to ping back. And then coming down onto the belly. And from here, we're going to take that left arm out long. Use the right hand to roll us over onto that left side, head coming down as well. That right hand is in front of the belly, giving us that support. And we're going to take this left hand and just draw it across the floor. So just drawing it down slightly. We've got that open heart here. Options to deepen, to take that right foot behind us, so sole of the foot coming down, or maybe just the toes. And maybe even deepen slightly more by taking that right hand behind the back and simply draping it wherever it falls. Closing down through the eyes here. Softening through the entire body, so checking in. Is the body working hard anywhere? If it is, just seeing if you can let go. So find that release of tension on the exhale. Taking one more breath here, inhaling. Exhaling. Taking wiggles through left fingertips, so bringing movement back into that left hand. If you've got that deepening, taking the right hand back in front, releasing right leg, rolling back over onto the belly, softening. Taking any wiggles you might need, and then coming to find the other side, so right hand coming out long this time. Left hand rolling us over onto that right side, closing down through the eyes. Left hand in front to support, either pausing here, that right hand sliding down the floor behind you. Softening down, and then option to deepen by taking that left foot behind, either onto the toes or sole of the foot. And then option to take that left hand behind as well, just draping it behind the back. Closing down through the eyes, allowing for softening here, opening through that heart space. And also checking in with how deep you're going. So if this feels like it's too much, always just checking in with where works for you. So releasing that leg back, taking that hand back in front for support, whatever you may need. Taking one more breath here in through the nose. Exhaling, letting go. Wiggles through the right fingertips. Releasing the hand back in front if it's behind, releasing the leg. Rolling back over onto that belly, gently drawing yourself back to the physical body, taking any movement you need. And then from here, we're coming towards Ushavasana. So taking a moment here on the belly and just asking yourself where would work best for me. So maybe it's simply staying here. Maybe the belly feels like a comfortable place. Remembering that where we switch off doesn't always have to be too prescriptive. So just ask yourself where would work best. Maybe it's a child's pose. Maybe it's simply rolling over onto your back. So just taking our traditional Shavasana, feet dropped out to the side slightly, palms facing up towards the sky. So wherever it is, take yourself to where works. It might even be lying on your side. When you arrive here, close down through those eyes again and just ask yourself, if I could be 10% more comfortable, what would I do? Maybe it's simply picking those shoulders up, placing them back down, taking any last wiggles, any last movement before we find that stillness. So do so now. And then when you arrive here, check back in with the breath. Maybe you've even got hands to the belly or to the heart space. Just noticing it. And checking in with the body as well. How does the body feel? So really softening everything down here. Allowing body to sink down into the mat. We let go. Remembering our Shavasana is our place to simply be. There is nothing to do here apart from be present with your breath and with the body. So we come back to this idea of fluidity, that breath or prana moving through us, facilitating our movement, but also facilitating this stillness. So I invite you as you lie here to maybe imagine that breath moving through the body like waves, like the tide rolling in and rolling out. As it rolls in, nourishing all parts of the body. And as it rolls out, releasing any tension that there might be. Everything softening. So option, of course, to stay here for a little longer. If you're ready to start to move away from practice, on the next inhale, imagining that wave eventually reaching the outermost edges of the body, fingertips and toes. Starting to find movement here to welcome in a wiggle, maybe a stretch overhead, a roll of the wrists or the ankles. And then slowly drawing knees into chest if you're on the back, and taking a rock from side to side. If you're in any other position, slowly easing out and finding your own way in your own time, no rush up to seated. As you arrive here, keeping those eyes closed And just dropping chin to chest, taking hand to heart center, the other hand on top, noticing that breath. So take a moment here for gratitude, a moment to thank yourselves for finding the time to come to the mat today, and a moment to thank the amazing lineage of teachers that have come before us. So when you're ready, breathing in through the nose. Exhale, release out through the mouth. Slowly letting hands rest. Fluttering open eyelids, taking a soft gaze in front, coming back to the space, back to the room. And moving slowly. So thank you all so much for practicing with me today. I hope this is a class that you really enjoyed. Please let me know if you did enjoy it in the comments or over on Instagram. There are new classes weekly, so please subscribe to the channel. Have a look at some of the older videos. Some of them are really, really nice and good to kind of slot in. Some of them are a little bit shorter. So I hope you all have a lovely rest of the day, and I hope to see you back here soon. Bye.